بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الأول قبل الإنشاء والإحياء والآخر بعد فناء الأشياء، العليم الذي لا ينسى من ذكره ولا ينقص من شكره ولا يخيب من دعاه ولا يقطع رجاء من رجاه، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا ونبينا وحبيب قلوبنا وشفيع ذنوبنا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. عباد الله اتقوا الله أوصيكم ونفسي بتقوى الله. O the servants of Allah, refrain yourself from committing sins. I advise you and myself to protect ourselves by our obedience to Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today I would like to give some details about the issue which was discussed the other day in Imamiyya WhatsApp about our obligation towards the politics. As I said in my answer the other day, I said politics only become obligatory to follow and obey when the infallible, the Imam, takes over the head of the political system. In this case, we are obligated to follow and obey the politics without question. We cannot even give our opinions. Before I start answering or discussing this issue, I would like to give an idea first. Islam unequivocally directed, encouraged, command the followers, the Muslims, to use their intellect, to use their intelligence. It is an obligation. For instance, let me give you some examples from Quran. Quran refer to multiple phrases in multiple verses, like يتفكر, يتدبر, يعقل. السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. These words, these phrases have been used in Quran in multiple stages, in multiple verses. In Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala praised those who use their intellect. Surah An-Nahl, verse number 44, Allah said, إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَةً لِقَوْمٍ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ. Praise them. Indeed, in these, the good things, is a sign for those who give thought, those who think profoundly, thoroughly. يتفكر. Allah praise the one who is يتفكر, use his intellect profoundly. Allah command in Quran to use our intellect profoundly. In Surah An-Nahl, verse number 44, Allah said, وَلَعَلَّهُمْ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ. And they may give thought, think profoundly. Allah command them, I want you to use your intellect properly. Allah condemn in Quran those who don't use their brain, their intellect profoundly. Surah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi. Verse number 24, Allah said, أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ أَمْ عَلَى قُلُوبٍ أَقْفَالُهَا. Don't they focus on carefully, يَتَدَبَّر, as I said, يَعْقِل, يَتَدَبَّر. All of these words came in Quran. يَعْقِل, يَتَدَبَّر, يَتَفَكَّر. Allah wants us. And if we don't use our intellect properly, Allah condemned those who don't use, as I say in this verse, أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ أَمْ عَلَى قُلُوبٍ أَقْفَالُهَا. Don't they focus on carefully to understand the Quran, or their hearts are locked up when they don't use their intellect properly? Allah warned those people who don't use their intellect properly. Surah Yunus, verse number 100. وَيَجْعَلُ الرِّجْسَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ لَا يَعْقِلُونَ. Allah said, will place abomination, disgrace on those who will not understand, don't make sense. يعقل, those who don't make sense. For this reason, I would like to encourage each and everyone to use their intellect, to understand politics, to understand social issues. Because just in case, if someone think, I say, don't even think about politics as long as you live here in the United States. It is not your obligation to understand what's going on as a social issues. No, I not just encourage. I would like to love to see, especially our young people, to understand. I myself, just a couple of days ago, I have a friend of mine. We sat down and we discussed this election in details. I know exactly. He told me he is working in journalism. He's a journalist for the last 45 years. He says, "Sir, most of the people here in the United States, they don't have this knowledge. You have a wide knowledge in terms of politics." Yes, I understand politics and different politics. I know politics. That's why I encourage people to understand politics. However, our obligation, just pay attention to this one. I don't want the people to be discouraged, not to think about politics. Oh, it's not our obligation, it's not our job. No, it is important because knowledge is power wherever you go and in whatever you think. We have obligation. When the infallible, as I said, takes over the head of the political systems, what is our obligation? To follow without question. Of course, this happened rarely in the history. Let me give you examples. Prophet David, Nabi Dawood, Prophet Sulaiman, and Nabi Sulaiman. Of course, the best example, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And when Imam Ali alayhi salam took over the head of the political system during his Khilafah, and Imam Hassan after him alayhi salam. So rarely this happened in the history. When the infallible, the Imam, takes over the political system, our obligation to follow without question. We don't have even to think. Whatever the Imam said, follow and obey. And this one, as I said, this one is not going to happen until our Imam Mahdi, may Allah hasten his reappearance, will fill the earth with justice and equality after it has been filled with injustice. So it is not in our time. Second, when the Imam or the infallible, whether the Prophet, the Imam, is presented, but he is not taken over the head of the political system. Like the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he was in Mecca, first 13 years in Revelation, he was not taken over the head of the political system. Imam Ali alayhi salam, after the Prophet, first, he did not take over the head of the political system. And the Imams after Imam Hassan alayhi salam, until our Imam, none of them took over the head of the political system. In this case, of course, except our case during the occultation of our Imam, the disappearance of our Imam. When the Imam is presented in the society, it is our obligation, whatever we must do, we go and ask our Imam. Okay, now we have government, we have political system, what to do? Our Imam, if our Imam is presented, he can give us the direction, the details. Then we follow the command of our Imam, what to do with the political system. So this is another case. It's not our case. Our case is totally different because our Imam is not presented. We can communicate directly with him. He's not here. So how to do? What is our obligation? Here is the case. That's why I said politics in our case is not anymore obligation. He asked the brother, I don't know, I told him he can come and attend today, but he's not coming. He asked, what is the position of our Imamiyya organization in terms of the election? What is the political position for Imamiyya? I say, Imamiyya is a pure religious organization. We don't have political view. Who is going to decide what to do right now? As I said, our Imam is not presented among us. How we are going to take as organization a certain political position? Who is going to? Am I going to take this? No, of course not. As I said, now it becomes a personal responsibility, a personal obligation. And not just that, our organization, by the way, it is not profit organization. We lose this status as a non-profit organization if we get involved in politics. And as I say, religiously, no, it's not acceptable to make the organization as a representative of the religion, the faith, the belief. Because who is going to make the decision? Yes, it is our obligation to make our intellect to justify our decision. And not just that. Sometimes we don't have enough knowledge to come up with a certain decision. You go back to your marja to ask about details. What to do in this case, what to do in that case. Yes, I can discuss one-to-one politics, what to do, how to avoid, how to take a better decision. But my opinion is not going to be definite. Anyone's opinion is not going to be definite. But at least we must be at least honest with ourselves. What we believe the right thing to do to benefit ourselves, our family, our community, our faith, our religion, that's a personal decision. It's not going to be as religious organization decision. Our obligation, we came here, for instance, this country, United States, we said we are going to follow rules. In this case, we follow rules because Allah said in Surah Al-Isra, verse number 34, وَأَوْفُوا بِالْعَهْدِ إِنَّ الْعَهْدَ كَانَ مَسْئُولًا. Fulfill your promise. Now, our obligation to fulfill our promise. إِنَّ الْعَهْدَ كَانَ مَسْئُولًا. The promise is responsible. Fulfill the promise. Promise will be asked in the day of judgment, in the day of reckoning. Whatever ahd we gave, we must fulfill, follow through. So this is our obligation. We have to act properly. We have to reflect our values. And it's not going to hurt us. And unless something comes against our belief. And I don't think anyone will be forced to do something contradict with our core belief. None of us. Alhamdulillah, shukr. We have this center, organization. We practice our religion, our faith, our belief. We don't have problem. For this reason, we must use our intellect, as I said, to fulfill our promise. I would like to give some narrations. Imam al-Rida alayhi salam, our 8th Imam, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. He said, the friend of a person is his or her intelligence, and the enemy of a person is his or her ignorance. In nature, as human beings, we are ignorant. That's why we must study in details what to do, how to take decisions. That's our obligation. In another narration, Imam Ali alayhi salam narrated this hadith. He said once Jibreel, angel Gabriel alayhi salam, came to Adam. Adam is the father of humanity, and said, I'm ordered to offer you 3 choices. Gabriel said to Adam, I'm going to give you 3 choices. What are these choices? You may choose one and leave the other 2. So this is a test to Adam alayhi salam. He said 3 choices. Choose one and leave the other 2. Adam then asked, what are those 3 things? Gabriel alayhi salam replied, they are intelligence. First thing, intelligence. Second, al-haya. Al-haya is shyness, but not in the negative meaning, shyness. Here, haya, it means something positive, not to be aggressive, something like that. Al-haya. And the third thing is the religion. 3 things. Just think about that. When you have given the option to choose one of these 3 things, intelligence, haya, and religion, Adam then said, I choose intelligence. Look, Adam, alhamdulillah, shukr Allah, he's a prophet. He knows what he's doing, because his option was just one, to choose among these 3 things. He did choose intelligence. How important the intelligence. Gabriel then asked bashfulness or shyness, haya, and religion to retain and leave intelligence with Adam. Both of them, they said to Gabriel alayhi salam, they said, oh Gabriel, we are commanded to be with intelligence wherever it may exist. Look how smart was Adam. Both of them, they said, but we cannot do that. We have to be with intelligence. Religion and haya, always they are with intelligence. Gabriel then said, it then is up to you. He then ascended, risen to heaven. Of course, this is spiritual meaning for us to understand that without intelligence, there will be no religion, no haya, no proper actions. That being said, Allah, because Allah is Rahim, Allah is generous, Allah is not going to commit any oppression. Let me go through this narration. Imam Abu Ja'far, Imam al-Baqir alayhi salam, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad, said, who has the following, said this one: Allah on the day of judgment will hold everyone accountable according to what? Pay attention to this one. The degree of the intelligence that He had given them in their worldly life. Allah will hold us accountable whatever intelligence He has given to us. Allah. If we don't act upon this limit, the limit of the intelligence which was given by Allah to us, it means we will be in deep trouble in the day of judgment. That's why we must think, we put our intelligence, what to do, You can discuss it with your friends. I'm talking about politics here in the United States. With your friends, with yourself, try to reach the proper decision. Ask your marja. Whatever you want to do it with this way. This organization is not going to be a political organization. This one is religious organization. That's what I wanted to say and explain to this brother. I wish I gave him enough answer. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفره إنه كان توابا اللهم صل على